Hello, welcome and namaste. We here at BW Marketing World have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Ankit Kapoor, CMO and Operating Partner, Springwel and Ananta Capital. Thank you so much for your presence here, sir.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege talking to you, and thank you for this opportunity.
So, Springwel offers a wide range of sleeping products from pillows to bedding accessories. How do you approach the marketing mix for your products?
So we're very clearly positioned or we're very clearly focused on who our TG is, right? And these are typically 28 to 35-year-olds who are going through a change in their phase of life, right? So with that context, there are four things that we typically end up doing. The first is when you talk about any marketing mix, right? Promotions, and the context of a change in phase of life typically triggers a few occasions in the year. One you will see is going to be around house purchases. So for mattress and house purchases, they go hand in hand. You will then typically talk about occasions like Diwali, where the whole house is typically cleaned up and things are renovated and changed. Weddings, so that's one season, and then the big sale season. So we typically try and activate these, but it's not just always about a big sale. It's not always about value for money. It's also about bringing the whole sale or the promotion to life in a very relevant and engaging manner, so content continues to play its role. The second is on the product, and if you really take a step back and try and see this category, there is very little genuine innovation which is happening. There's a lot of lip service, there's a lot of complicated terminology being thrown. The idea for us is to really make these innovations real. And how we are able to do that, for example, we've just launched a campaign with 4 of our innovations, and all of these campaigns, because of international collaborations that we have, because of the kind of patented technology that we're able to get, deliver on the promise. So you have products that we now offer which actually destroy bacteria. There are fragrances that mattresses can give out for years. There is body balance improvement, and you do feel shocked that how can a mattress actually improve body balance. But I'd urge all of you to go out there to the store, experience this, because there's a way in which we'll actually make you feel it and you'll realize this works. And there is temperature regulation, something which is so relevant for our country because of the kind of climate we have. So these are innovations that genuinely need to be delivered, and the collaborations, the patented technology, this is molecular technology, it actually works. The next bit is, of course, the store experience, and we continue to improve on it, and this is a strength or a clear comparative advantage that we hold in the market vis-a-vis a lot of the new age players who are purely D2C. Now, how do you sell a mattress virtually? How do you give someone an experience of a mattress virtually? It's a long-term kind of a commitment, right? You buy this once in 7 years, so it is a clear advantage that we hold. And this is something that we continue to increase the gap versus competition on. And of course, last is the content, definitely not the least. India is bored of boring content. So content which is fundamentally correct yet relevant and engaging. You will see we've recently released a campaign, and exactly the thought that we wanted, that we cannot just come out there and start talking about the product. No one remembers it. The environment is far too cluttered and far too competitive.
So as you mentioned that the recent campaign that has been released, so you collaborated with Bowman Irani for your campaign Dhang Se Soya Hota To Ye Nahi Hota. So what was your vision behind the collaboration, as well as the idea that you wanted to put forward for the people out there?
Dhang se soya hota to ye nahi hota, right? I mean, firstly, it's a line which kind of gets stuck in your mind. It almost makes you smile, and it's also something that's gotten stuck in the mind of everyone at office. So there are a lot of times we tend to use it, but it comes from a very simple yet relevant insight. And what is that? That the lack of good sleep, the lack of deep sleep, it leads to what? It leads to absent-mindedness. And absent-mindedness can lead to embarrassment, right? India today is loving content that is simple, that's humorous, and that's credible. Who better a person than Mr. Irani with his amazing skill set on acting to bring these three things to life, right? So, of course, we had 3 films that we launched, And each of the films actually showcases three different consumers, which are the cohorts that we typically target. So one is a married couple, and there's a very interesting banter that goes on, and you realize all of it is because someone was absent-minded due to poor sleep. The other is a fitness enthusiast. Again, a really interesting story that happens between her and Mr. Irani. And of course, the third one is a young working professional, much like all of, not me, but maybe the rest of the audience that's watching, who would typically be running late to office because they could not wake up on time. And then what happens in that moment? So, poor sleep triggers a lot of these situations. And it's easy for brands to complicate functional benefits and throw those out. And those might be important at some point of time. But the most important thing to create memorability of a campaign is to keep it simple, relatable. And through these cohorts, the three different stories, almost all of the TG that we talk to gets covered. And that's the reason why the early results on the campaign are extremely positive.
That's lovely. So as you mentioned about the young individuals today, so in the world of digitization, there is so much social media that is happening. How do you plan to leverage the digital media platforms to engage and reach your audience to a broader spectrum of people for your product industry?
So, of course, I think it's a relevant question and seems to be playing up on everyone's mind. But one of the advantages of belonging to a group like Ananta for any brand is that there is so much of cross-pollination of information, there is so much of synergy in terms of the kind of competence that we hold because of all the other D2C brands and the digital knowledge that we have. So Springwel being a legacy brand, right, not being D2C forward, has immensely gained from that ecosystem. So we, of course, at this point of time have gone completely digital forward in terms of how we want to drive awareness. And at this point of time, we focused on bringing awareness to all the innovations, and with the launch of this campaign, really bringing the mother brand top of mind in some of our key focus geographies.
Lovely. So again, in the world where digitization is so much, how do you maintain Springwel's online reputation when it comes to, because it's a world where online reviews are there, people engage on social media, they speak what they like, they speak what they don't like. How do you maintain Springwel's brand reputation in the online world?
Yeah, I mean, you're either there or you're not there at all in the mind of the consumer if you're not online. But being an omni-channel brand, so what we've done is we've pivoted very quickly from just being a traditional on-the-ground player to launching our D2C platform. And like I've been saying, that the mattress category seems to be getting complicated and cluttered. Our objective has been very simple. I don't think the consumer understands the technical terms that most brands are throwing at them. So how do you simplify the process of purchase, right? Because when I'm virtually or online going and buying a mattress, which I haven't experienced, there's a degree of anxiety. I don't know what I'm going to get. And it's not a small amount of money. It's not a purchase I make every week or every month. It's a once in 6-7 year purchase. That's exactly what we've tried to address by launching our D2C platform called Springwel Easy. And why is it easy? Because in 3 simple questions, we will be able to recommend the right mattress to you at the right price. And you can then go experience it at our store or have it sent to your house and get a free of cost experience there. But we want to take away that stress off the consumer into saying, hey, I don't know what technology I'm going to get and how will it actually feel. So we take care of that, and that's the reason it's Springwel Easy.
That's lovely. So I think more in future we might see more of AR, VRs, that Springwel probably will be showcasing that.
See, mattresses are about the look also, but that's only the moment when you're purchasing it. The moment you go to bed, you honestly don't care how the mattress looks. What you care about is how it feels. And no AR, VR will be able to replicate that. Therefore, the omni-channel presence of Springwel will continue to be a competitive advantage, and consumers will want to physically feel and experience a product before they buy it.
How do you face the challenges? What challenges do you anticipate in the sleep products industry, especially in terms of Springwel products? And how do you aim to overcome them?
the greatest challenge that this category is facing is that of credibility. What you promise, what you throw out as fancy terms, are you actually delivering on those promises? Or is it just a great marketing campaign with great visuals? Springwel or any brand that has been there, there is a reason why consumers trust and keep coming back to them. The fact that we've been around for over a decade or two is because consumers understand the quality that we deliver. The new age brands, of course, are able to drive large scale trials because of amazing performance marketing, right? But you also know how quickly the trials go down and the repeats don't happen. That is exactly what we don't want to do with Springwel. There is a degree of trust that we've earned. You want to nurture and protect that trust. And that will happen only when we deliver the promise of quality that we've always been delivering. So all innovations that we will fire, all innovations that we will deliver will be genuine innovations and not fanciful terms.
Okay. So as you mentioned that you have created a niche of yourself, an image for yourself. So how do you collaborate with the R&D team or the product development team in order to innovate new products for Springwel? And because the sleep products industry, how do you innovate products? Because everyone goes through, okay, beds are there, pillows are there, but what new innovative ways do you cater to, and how do you sell those distinctive points in the market?
So mattresses, and we primarily play on what we define as on the bed segments, right? So mattresses, pillows, anything which is on the bed. It's a really interesting category. Why? Everyone needs it, everyone experiences it. And I'm a firm believer that innovation can actually come from just about anybody in the organization. So we have a simple process. We invite ideas at a regular frequency from across the organization which are centered around sleep. Tell me one person who doesn't sleep. Tell me one person who doesn't use a mattress. Tell me one person who doesn't use a pillow. Everybody does these things, right? And we ask them what is their problem. We ask them what is the perfect sleep experience that they would have and how do they imagine it. We then of course cluster it into clear consumer needs, figure out which are the ones that are most viable from a business and innovation standpoint, and then starts the process of collaborating with our internal R&D teams, collaborating with our vendors, collaborating with our international teams. And after that is when you see a genuine innovation and not just phenomenal marketing and terminology.
So I believe that there are different categories, like for children or adults, or the new Gen Z and Gen Alpha that has been coming up.
Yeah.
So for them, do you have all those different R&D and then you innovate on those products?
Oh yes, like I was talking about bacteria destroying mattresses, right? A lot of people actually think, how does this even work? But it works at a molecular level. It's scientifically proven. And whom is it for? The previous generation wasn't eating on their bed. It is this generation which has gone through this whole COVID crisis that has had to adapt and probably even accelerate this whole idea of binge watching. So you're always snacking on content, right? Or snacking while consuming content, and therefore a mattress has become a place much beyond just sleep. It's a place of actually consuming food. And what happens when you consume food? Of course, some of it goes here and there. So bacteria destruction is a very real need, which you have a small segment today. COVID, of course, accelerated that need because everyone became very particular about hygiene. But this is something that will keep, I think, becoming more and more relevant. Similarly, for a climate like ours, temperature regulation. Tell me one person sleeping in an air-conditioned room who is not feeling either too cold or too warm at night. All of us go through the same churn, through the same grind. But nobody's talking about these products. There are products that actually make you feel cooler and they're there in the market. There are products that can warm you up, they're there in international markets. But there's nobody saying, hey, I will just regulate your temperature and maintain it at what it is. Because what do you need for deep, comfortable sleep? Sameness. Nothing should change. Once I've set the temperature, it should remain the same. That's exactly what we've been able to deliver. So there is a nuance and there's a strong insight behind what we're doing.
What are your marketing strategy for this year and the upcoming year?
Like I was talking about, we've just launched a new campaign, and the idea is to do a few things. One is to remain always on. Mattress is not one of those products that is purchased every day, every week. So if you're not going to be present in the consumer's mind, you will not be present at all. So we will be always on. We will make sure that Mr. Irani does his magic in the mind of the consumers. We will continue to improve our store experience. So there is going to be a whole new experience for the consumers in the days to come. And Springwel will see a very rejuvenated look and feel in the stores, and a whole new range of innovations. And last but not the least, really strengthen our omni-channel presence, backed by some phenomenal content which is going to be based on one simple strategy of driving awareness based on demonstration, meaning the consumer doesn't just need to hear the word Springwel, doesn't just need to see a celebrity come and talking about it. The consumer should actually be able to experience virtually what this product is about, and that will be a game changer for us. You'll see that unfold in the weeks or months to come.
Lovely. So coming to my last question, today the role of a CMO is no longer just marketing. They have to be in operations, they have to be in sales, they have to be actually omnipresent everywhere. So how do Ankit Kapoor find time for that innovation, for that thought, for that strategy to come out? When does that happen?
Ankit Kapoor alone is actually nothing. We have a phenomenal team, and I make sure that I lean a lot on the team to bring everything to life. Our job honestly is a lot to set the direction and make sure we stay the course, to remove the hurdles. But it really is our team which does the magic and brings all of the story together. So Ankit Kapoor would typically lean a lot on the teams and make sure that they continue to shine and do what they have to do. The rest of the business will follow.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Mr. Kapoor, for having the time to give to BW Marketing World and BW Business World. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Been a pleasure. Thank you so much.